Today, in the news that comes out that LSU is going to be putting patches on their jerseys, I think of a great movie that all of you either should watch, have watched, and probably quote with your friends. And something LSU did do today officially. Something called All About the Benjamins. And I think about Mike Epps going up to the counter in the scene where he's buying chips, but he's running a scheme because he knew that the clerk is going to be looking at him for stealing stuff, and it's actually two other ladies that were and shoplifting. But Mike Epps goes up to the counter and says, 15, a 30, a 37, a 38, a booty doo doo doo, 45, 47. That's about probably how many millions of dollars that Woodside Energy, the company that is going to be the sponsor and have their patch and logo on the new LSU football jerseys, already on the practice jerseys, I might add. Somewhere around there, I think they're going to be giving LSU. Now, Woodside Energy, a top 10 oil and gas industry in the entire world, has dumped about $18 billion into the state of Louisiana over the last couple of years. And obviously, they see how much that all of you love LSU. It is a massive day in college football, and LSU has done it. Some of you are not going to like the announcement that LSU is putting a sponsor and a patch on the jersey. And I understand your sentiment and thoughts of why you don't like it. I know a lot of you in college sports, myself included, don't like change. I think there's been a lot of change in college athletics, some for the worst, and maybe even some for the better, because you're going to have to start getting with the times. You know, there was a civil case not too long ago that if you follow our national college football show over at Ruffino and Joe, that we discussed this at great length, and we discussed this at great length here. Because TV revenue money that now has to be paid to players and athletes is here. And what did you expect universities and colleges to do? Did you expect them to not try to make more money and come up with creative ideas to not make up the $20 million? And in the coming years, 22, then 25, then 27, then 30. Because, guys, this college football train's not slowing down. The viewership and the games that you watch, guys, you can say that the numbers are going down. No, they're not. They're going up. They are going up. People are going to find a way. Personally, it doesn't matter to me who puts their damn patch on the side of that jersey. It doesn't matter. Because I know one thing, a company that wants to be a part of it also gave 17 and invested 17.5 to be exact. But the way that they're spending, by the time that you see this, may be closer to $18 billion, with a B, dollars in the state of Louisiana. $18 billion. Yeah, if they contacted AYS and said, hey, you're an LSU podcast, we want to put a Woodside patch on every piece of clothing you wear. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I know a lot of you don't like it. It takes the purity out of the sport. Newsflash to all of you. If someone's offering you millions and millions of dollars to put a damn patch on the side of your shirt or on the top of your shirt or the front of your shirt, you're going to do it. Don't you sit here and don't you dare sit there and tell me that you wouldn't. I know some of you that would do some crazy shit for $20. You know, I think of my buddies from high school and the crazy shit that they did for money and the crazy shit that they do for money now, which, well, they just call their job. Yeah, so about that. Guys, it's a new era. NIL is a new era. TV revenue is a new era, and it's about time you get on board with it because it's not going to go anywhere, whether you like it, love it, or hate it. It's going to stay here. Nevertheless, we're live. It's Thursday. You know what that means. Keys to Victory is here. We'll go through the things that I think LSU must do and has to do to win this game. We do it every Thursday, obviously, and clearly we didn't do it last Thursday because LSU did not have a game, but I'm glad that we have finally made it. We have finally made it to the last day you and I will talk, and the last time you and I will talk until the game, face-to-face, I guess you should say, or screen-to-face, whichever one you would prefer. But the last time that you and I will talk before South Carolina and LSU tee this thing up at 6:45 Central Standard Time on Saturday night. I will start off with tonight by saying this before we get to comments. Guys, I think that this is a must-win for LSU. I think you look at the South Carolina game and you say to yourself, look, this is year 4 of Brian Kelly. This is the 5th year of Garrett Nussmeier. You went out and spent a lot of money in the portal. The anticipation and expectation for your season was sky high. You lost to Ole Miss 2 weeks ago, and guys, you got to move past it. Does it suck? Do you got things you got to correct and things you got to fix? We all know that, yes. Because this is when, in a part of a coaching era at a place like LSU, where you start asking deep-rooted questions. I do feel like every game from here on out, the anticipation continues to mount over and over and over again. Like, this game is massive because, man, you go 4-2 and, well, your playoff chances are shot. You go to Vandy next week. Then you got A&M coming into town, who, by the way, they're undefeated. And if they beat Florida on Saturday going into a bye week, well, guys, there you have it. Can you go into Tuscaloosa and win, or Norman, Oklahoma and win? Every single game, besides Western Kentucky, and even Western Kentucky probably, every single game in the Brian Kelly era this year is going to be top-notch, high-level, high-intensity. Because your quarterback might not be better. He may still be hurt. Brian Kelly was asked a question today. Boy, he didn't give a lot of confidence, did he? We'll talk about that press conference here in just a moment. Because everything's on the table. Every single thing that you've worked for over the last 4 years is on the table. Everything for guys like Garrett Nussmeier, for that offensive line, which, guys, quite frankly, you've had some pieces here for 3 to 4 years. For this wide receiver room, for this running back room, for this defense, this defensive coaching staff, offensive coaching staff. Everything that you have worked for is starting to mount here. And for some guys on this coaching staff, well, some of you have been here with Brian Kelly the whole time, and things are coming home to roost. The crow is coming home to roost, pun intended, with South Carolina coming into town. Every single week is going to be more intensity. Because, guys, could you suffer one more loss? Probably. Can you suffer 2? No. So, guys, I know you're tired of having the same conversations over the last 2 weeks. Well, this is the last time that we get to have it. And now we start getting some real answers. There are no more excuses. There are no more excuses for this team. You spent a lot of money and you went to a podium, if you're a head coach, and said, see you in the national title game. Well, I mean, not mine completely, and I'm not calling for anybody's head here. I don't like doing that. But, guys, look at any of the comments. Patience is running thin. And from an offensive staff perspective, it should. Because you're not really better in the turnover game based off of what you do. You're not better at running the football. Patience is running thin. And all of these coaches are smart. They understand it. They get it. They know. Are you going to start correcting that this week? Well, it's clearly up to you guys. We'll see. We'll figure it out. All right, let's get to a couple comments here before we get rolling. Drunks Vigo says, nowhere to run, bro. There is nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide in this. So, guys, to be real with you, like Josh Pate, love him to death. Friend, love him. Clearly does an exceptional job. He posted South Carolina's schedule for the next 5 weeks. Guys, it's the same damn opponents that you have. The only difference is that you have Western Kentucky in one of them in a bye game. So does South Carolina. They're coming off a bye just like you are. You play the same exact opponents that they do. So you can say that their schedule is daunting. Well, my brothers and sisters in Christ, so is yours. There's nowhere to hide. Welcome to the SEC. David says, I can't take another loss. David, I don't think that you are this Saturday. I don't. A&M goes to Arkansas the week before us. Okay. Don't they have a bye in there, Paul Sub? Or is it after us? When's their bye game? Bye week? Because I don't think they've been on a bye. Maybe they have. Sagely says, says on YouTube, there's going to be carnage. This is going to be a carnage weekend. Very well could. Very, very well could. Taki says $20 is $20. I'm telling you. Vigo says that he'd do anything for $20. You see what I'm saying? Look, here's what normally happens. I come out and, like, when we talked about NIL years ago when it got passed. Well, actually, not years ago. Guys, remember when we did the Brian Kelly signed win bar raffle? I guess I forgot to tell everybody. So we did a win bar raffle, and we got Brian Kelly to sign it through the collection. And asked BK about it. He was good with it. He signed it for Drew Samaha, who's got it. And I appreciate BK for doing that when we were helping raise money for NIL. I say that to say, like, I remember those days in all the comments. I hate NIL. These players don't deserve to get paid. You're an idiot. The Supreme Court says you're an idiot. Well, Blake, the Supreme Court says this and that. Guys, it's the world we live in, dog. It's the world we live in. Guys, the scholarship money that they were getting, the $30,000 a year in tuition they were getting, or $40,000, whatever it is. Guys, on a baseline avenue, these players are getting paid $200,000 just from TV revenue money. So, like, it's the same thing with the damn patch, right? Like, I don't really understand it, really. Like, people are getting mad. Guys, I guarantee no one's going to stop watching less LSU football because of a damn patch. You're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Viewership is sky high. Go look at numbers at Ruffino and Joe show if you don't believe me. Our numbers are sky high. Guys, we're in the 7 figures of views just on YouTube. It ain't going anywhere. It ain't going around here. It ain't going nowhere. Taki says, moto around our house come conference season is simple. Live or die. No doubt. No doubt. TC says, NASCAR been putting patches and decals on everything for decades. And how's that worked? People that like NASCAR don't stop listening and watching NASCAR. I got to be real with you guys. I've never really truly watched NASCAR. I did as a kid a little bit, some, and then I kept falling asleep. I'm sorry. Oh, he's making a left turn. He's making another left turn. It doesn't, it's not my thing, man. It's just not my thing. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on anybody that loves it. I'm glad that you love it. It's just not for me, man. Just not for me at all. All right, let's get moving here. Everyone do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups. If you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages, you're watching us, listening to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Every AYS Sports episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. If you have the discretionary income, you want to go play some bets. We're just talking about NASCAR. They got it over there. They got it over there. You can bet on whatever you would like, your heart would like. From a sports relative perspective, you can go place that bet over at FanDuel. I tell you this all the time. I'm going to say it in every episode, and our good partners over at FanDuel agree. If you don't know what you're doing, then figure it out. Find out. Learn on what you need to do. If you have discretionary income, go use it. Let's go have some fun. If you don't, then don't go do it. But if you do want to go have some fun, download the FD Sportsbook app today. Go over there. Let's place the bets. Let's go have some fun. And if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, all you got to go is go to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. And everything is literally right there for you. But every AYS Sports Show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel, and we are glad to be partnered up with our good friends over there at FD and FD Sportsbook. All right, let's get moving here. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Let me get to a quick break. Keys to victory next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Redstick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Redstick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Redstick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Redstick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Redstick. We're back. Before we get the keys to victory, Jay Johnson met with the media today as fall ball started today at 4:30, and the boys are back out there. But just wanted to hit a couple of quick things. We're not going to stay on this long. Talked to some people inside the building yesterday. Let me just say this about LSU baseball for what it's worth. Talked to some people inside the LSU building yesterday, and I was talking to them about recruiting. Guys, the heater in recruiting that LSU baseball is on right now is one that if it was football, people would be talking about it nonstop. I think when you look at Jay, you look at Josh Jordan, you look at the staff, Nate Yeske in general, and what they're doing, guys, they are absolutely dominating right now in recruiting. Jay Johnson's second national title really helps that. What they've been doing at such a high level is nothing short of absolutely spectacular. And are all of these guys going to make it to your campus? No. But I will tell you from some things that I've heard, since Jay Johnson has won that second national title here at LSU, boy, it's funny how people start wanting to be a part of something great and being a part of something legendary, not just from a recruiting and player aspect, but from an NIL aspect. And I'm just going to tell you now, Jay's going to continue to recruit at this high of a level. You know, it's interesting because the joke was made last season that he's at Orgeron, and then he wins another one, and y'all know the story. But it's always spectacular how teams take the identity of their head coach, and your head coach is always hungry. I don't think in the years that Jay has been here, whether the time, and I'll just say this, and I don't think he'll get mad. Actually, I know he won't. But the time that just even in the interview early on that we did with Jay before the national title, the times that I've spoken with people in that building, guys, when you go in there, they're as hungry as ever. I think this team that they have and that they're going to field this upcoming spring is going to be spectacular. I still think they're going to be. I believe they're going to be a very, very good team. Can they win it all? I don't know. I don't know about top line pitching. How do you replace a Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson? They got very talented human beings like Casey Evans and William Schmidt and others that they're going to turn to. But Jay Johnson acts like a coach that's won no national titles. And recruiting's not taking a hit, guys. It's taking a step forward. Do I think that there are some things that they wish that they could take back? Maybe some guys that maybe in the new world of baseball that they would flip? Yes. And that they would want to flip? Yes. But, guys, they're on a heater. Just a couple of things before we get to keys to victory here that Jay Johnson mentioned and was mentioned today in the media availability. Derek Curiel's up 20 pounds. Guys, when you – LSU, for what it's worth, has been blessed for over 4 decades of having top-end, high-level LSU baseball talent. Derek Curiel's cut from that same cloth. You know, we don't talk about LSU baseball offseason a lot. We don't talk about what those guys have been doing, but, guys, he's gained 20 pounds. Yeah, they work like they haven't won shit. I think that Jay's teams, more than anything, take the identity that he has in reference to work ethic, and it's why they always find success. Well, Blake, 2 years ago, we really struggled coming out of the gate. Yeah, and they found a way. The identity of his teams follow his footsteps and the way that they prepare. Jay talked about this today. I'm really glad, guys. Like, there's not really been any talk about last year's Natty. Like, the work ethic's been very high and at such a high level. Well, guys, Jay don't sugarcoat anything like that to you. If you listen to him, you know what I'm talking about. Because they turn the page because of how their coach acts and how he does things and how he works. Derek Curiel's no different. The work and ethic that he puts into this is at an elite level, not all-star level. We have had the ability as fans to be able to see high-end talent, and he's just one of those, and he's going to be here. And you're going to continue to see it. I think Derek Curiel is going to hit with a lot more power. And, guys, he almost got to double-digit bombs. I think he's going to hit more. Can he be in that 12 to 15 range? I think he's going to get there. I really, really do. So we'll see. Not a fat either. Good on Derek. Good on Derek for continuing working. Casey Evans says he wants to be a part of the rotation. Everybody does. And, well, he's going to get his shot, and let's see how this offseason pans out for Casey Evans. There was big news. Speaking of Derek Curiel, Jay Johnson confirmed today that Derek Curiel was moving to center field. Guys, did you listen to any press conference last year? Did you listen to any one of them? He knew the plan, and Jay, to the point, said that, listen, I am very, very shocked that no one took Chris Stanfield. I get what he's saying there, and I understand it. But he told Curiel that he is going to keep him or keep his promise to him and put him in center field. And why wouldn't you? I love Chris Stanfield, and Chris Stanfield is as team first as anybody. Guys, Chris Stanfield is going to be fine. Now, I will throw out there are some names that I've been told to look out for. Daniel Harden is one of them, an outfielder that you got this past year. I think that a lot of people are starting to look at him. Braden Simpson, someone that came from the portal that everybody's been talking about. They're very excited about him. South Dardar, someone else as well that they're really excited to get out there this week. Can Tanner Reeves take that next step? Is someone that everybody is looking at. What does William Patrick do? Can the freshman come in and give you some quality reps? Omar Cerna, the top catcher in prep baseball, can he come in? By the way, Zach Cowan is back. Does he find his way out into their rotation? Danny Latchenmeyer is in here from North Dakota State. A lot of people high on him. So many different guys that you are rolling with, and a lot of people that they want to see early in or late in the fall to see what they can give them. There's Reagan Ricken. Can he get you anything? The transfer from Tennessee. So many high-level guys that, look, we get to see, and they're going to continue to do things this fall, and it's going to be very, very fun to see it. I know a lot of people are very, very high on Devin Sheeran as well. So, look, I don't really talk about Jay's press conference. We will be out there in a couple of weeks when they have a scrimmage. I always love them getting in there for a couple of weeks and we go and see it. And we'll stay there for a couple of them and go watch them. And I highly suggest all y'all do as well. They're very, very fun, and you can go and do it. And I will tell you, last year when we went before the Ole Miss game, the entire place smelled like bourbon. People were already drinking. It's LSU. It's baseball. So glad to hear from that. Flight says, what's the word on Gavin Guidry? Hurt. Guys, I don't know. I think you should go into the season not expecting much, and anything that he gives you is a bonus. And then we'll see what happens from there. Keep that mindset. Gigi says, Blake, can LSU beat Miami? Can LSU beat Miami, Blake? No, not right now. Not right now. No, they can't. Because they have the best edge room in the country, and you have a problem on your offensive line. Your quarterback refuses to run. All right, let's get moving here. So it's Thursday. You know what that means, guys. Keys to victory here. Look, this is my favorite time of the week because I feel like that we just talk about nothing but ball here, and we get in depth about what I personally think LSU has to do to beat the opponent that they have on Saturday. This week it's South Carolina. And look, 1,000 narratives and 1,000 things have been said about LSU over these last 2 weeks, and deservingly so. You lost to Ole Miss. You had 2 weeks. Is your quarterback hurt? We don't need to go through them anymore because the game's here. And there are things that you're going to just have to do to win, clearly. But the one thing that you must do, the top thing you must do to win this game on Saturday versus South Carolina is simply contain and maintain the contain on Lenore Sellers. You know, I've seen a lot of comments this week, whether it be, Blake, Lenore Sellers hadn't had a great year. He's not really that great of a quarterback. Then, guys, I don't know what games that you're watching because I saw a guy get concussed. I saw a guy lead a drive, and they were about to go up 14 to Vandy before he got a concussion on a hit that probably should have been a targeting. He didn't run against Missouri and set in the pocket and was dealing with, guys, a receiving core that's not that great, got a lot of speed, but not that great. And a running quarterback, a very and high mobile quarterback, dotted an SEC team up that through 7 weeks is undefeated. He dotted them up. Guys, he is an amazing athlete. And you have not been consistent from this defensive staff in stopping someone at the quarterback position that can be mobile. You didn't do it against Trinidad Chambliss. Well, Blake, we somewhat did it against Clemson. Well, yeah, Cade Klubnik's not a bad athlete, but you actually let Harold Perkins be Harold Perkins, and you must do it again this week too. Lenore Sellers is, I don't want to say the only reason or the only way that South Carolina can win. But my God, he's a massive one. And guys, I think he might be special. Really. The way that he runs the football. He's got a worse offensive line than you do. He's got a worse wide receiver room than you do, and he just continues to make things happen with his legs. And now it looks like that he's gone into the offseason and done some things and a lot of better things with his arm. Guys, we've seen him multiple times this season under immense amounts of pressure, stay in the pocket and throw the football downfield for massive completions, something he didn't do last year because he was a little bit too happy in the pocket. Now he will sit there and has the confidence to make that throw, and you must contain him. Teams have sent massive amounts of heat after him. So these are two different points. Like, hey, you must contain him, but one and the same. Teams have gone all after Lenore Sellers and have told them either, number one, beat us from the pocket, or number two, you're going to have to break a shitload of tackles to gain any amount of yardage here, which some instances he has. And guys, on Saturday, you're going to have to live with it. You know, the one thing that I think is so wild to me is over the last 2 weeks, and because we're LSU fans, we massively focus in on it, and we should. But the health status for Garrett Nussmeier has been the question that Lenore Sellers' health situation has gone by the wayside. Now, I know a couple of weeks ago he had a concussion. He came back against Vandy, but he's had some nicks and bruises. here and there. Like he kind of got nicked up a little bit and had a hobble off to the sideline against Kentucky, but nobody seems to care because he came back and he's battling through it. Guys, this is a special dude. It is a special athlete. And in college football, when you have a special athlete at quarterback that can make plays on his own, those guys beat you. Ask Jaden. Now, they're two completely different quarterbacks, completely different situations. Jaden's clearly a better thrower than he is, but Lenore Sellers is definitely more physical of a runner, and the styles are different, but the way that they produce is the same. You must contain Lenore Sellers, and you must send all amounts of heat on him. Now, I agree with the sentiment out there that, look, we backed off of sending pressure on Trinidad Chambliss because we were gassed, and we didn't want to keep gassing out our guys by sending them on pressures and blitzes. I'm with you. I get it. I understand it. But, guys, this week you got to do everything humanly possible to contain Lenore Sellers, because you can't have like what you had 2 weeks ago against Trinidad Chambliss when everything else on the back end is locked down and he's just going to run to give you a first down. You can't do it. Blake Baker has had struggles against rushing quarterbacks and very mobile quarterbacks, whether it be at Missouri, whether it be here. And you better figure out a way. And why you are asking, and that's why I agree with Chris Gordy so much last night on our show, you got to let Harold Perkins be Harold Perkins and say, listen, we are going to man up on the outside, and we're going to go man-to-man across the board. And if, guys, they beat us, they beat us. If Lenore Sellers sits in the pocket, then he sits in the pocket. If he dimes you up, then he dimes you up. So what? You cannot allow him to do what he does best and get moving downhill, or they're going to beat your ass. You know, South Carolina, and something we've talked about over the last 2 weeks, they're dead last in the SEC in rushing. They've actually been worse than you. Here's the difference. They have a literal X factor that can go off at any time, and we have seen that does not need people's help to go off. Literally, go back last year and watch the Clemson game where he literally breaks 4 tackles in the backfield and scrambles for 25 yards and a score. Some people think because South Carolina's 3-2, they haven't had a great season. From a statistical analysis standpoint, their offense is ass, that he is. No, he's not. He's not. Do I think you can contain him? Yes. Do I think you're sending pressure after him this week? Yes. Should he scare the living dog shit out of every single one of you that will watch this clip or episode? Yes. Guys, he scares the shit out of me, and he should you. Now, he does not have the weapons around him that he did last year. I'm with you. I'm 1,000% with you. I agree with you. Because it's just the truth. Teams have had massive amounts of success on Lenore Sellers because they're sending so much pressure and so many guys are getting home that he doesn't have many options but to go down. You got to limit those options and get after him. I think this defense, for what it's worth, is going to make up for what happened 2 weeks ago. And the sad and crazy thing is that there's nothing that they should, number one, hold their heads for. And number two, I don't think they played a bad game at all. Like, guys, if you would have told me a couple of weeks ago, and we said this during the post game, literally after losing to Ole Miss, if you would have told me you held them to 24 points, I'd say it's going to be damn close. But I think you get them. I think you get them. If you would have told me that this defense would have been on the field, penalties included, for over 95 plays, and they held a Lane Kiffin offense to 24 points, I would have been proud. And they should be. Got to get off the field on third down. They are horrible at getting off the field on third down. Horrendous at getting off the field on third down. But guys, staying on the field on third down, they've also been abysmal because they get in situations where they're forcing Lenore Sellers to be Superman yet again. And Superman sometimes, because there's no one around him, turns into Clark Kent. You got to send pressure after him because I think that you're going to be able to lock them down at receiver. I do. They're going to attack P.J. Woodland, and they're going to attack DJ Pickett. Newsflash to everybody that's here. From here on out, unless you're fortunate to attack or to play a team like Ohio State in the playoff, and maybe outside the only team not being Texas A&M, because I think they will do this. People just are not going to start. They're not going to keep attacking Mansour Delane. They're not going to. I've said it a couple times. It just bears repeating. 2 Thursdays ago, I said on this show and said, hey, I talked to some people around Ole Miss, and I feel highly confident that they're not remotely targeting at Mansour Delane, and they're going to go right after Pickett, and they're going to go right after Woodland and say, what do you got? Well, they did. Guys, it's going to be the same this week. It might not start early. It might take them to the second quarter like it did Ole Miss. But once they do, they do. And P.J. Woodland made up for it because P.J. got the massive interception. But they're coming right after you. So to DJ and to P.J., you better be ready. If you contain him, I'm not asking you to stop Lenore Sellers, though. If you contain him and slow him down, you're going to win this football game. And I have tons and tons of faith that you're going to be able to do it. You know, the vibe when I talk to people around the building, around LSU, from an LSU defensive perspective, I know that coaching staff's telling them, don't you dare hang your head about what happened 2 weeks ago. Continue to play your game. And they're right. And Blake Baker is going to be right if he tells his team that. Listen, the bottom line is you got to get after him. You can't let him be comfortable. You can't let him get in a rhythm. And this interior defensive line has got to have a massive day. They have offensive line issues right now, does South Carolina. And Bernard Gooden, Don McKinley, it's time to make a statement. Because this offensive line for South Carolina is dookie cheeks. They are horrible. You got to not only get home with 4, and I get that you can and pick your times when you do it, but they're so bad that teams have been sending pressure and Lenore's hasn't had a chance. Do it again. The success was there for Virginia Tech, and they don't have the secondary that you do. The success was there for Missouri. What did they do? The success was there in so many games that we've seen South Carolina play. Guys, South Carolina State, wasn't it? They did the same thing, and that's why that game was as close as it was. Now, I know there was a rain delay, but regardless, they got after him. You need to do it too. Containing Lenore Sellers is the biggest thing for me because I think he's their team. He is their heartbeat. Guys, look how bad they were when he left. They moved a tight end to quarterback. Guys, they moved a tight end to quarterback against Vandy. Anyone who thinks that this dude's not special and cannot go off on you is clearly blind. That is the game for them. Do they have good players elsewhere? Yeah, they do. And I'm not going to sit here and act like that they don't have a lot of really good athletes. They do. But outside of quarterback, for me, you are more talented than them at every single position group. Receiver, yes, offensive line, defensive line, besides Dylan Stewart, linebacker, and secondary, you're better everywhere. You are better than them from a talent v. talent standpoint. Guys, it just comes down to, are you going to man up, go man-to-man against them? And are you just going to attack Lenore Sellers and say, we are not letting you get away today? He's going to get his, guys. He's going to get his. Hot take. No, it's not a hot take. This is the best quarterback that you've seen all year. Lenore Sellers, by far, is the best quarterback that you've seen all year. Better than Klubnik, better than Lagway, better than Chambliss, better than Southeastern, better than Louisiana. Not close, guys. He is that good. So, I slow him down. You're not. This defense has the ability to stop him. You don't need to. Slow him down, and you're going to win this football game. And if you're the boundary outside corners, well, be ready. Unless your name's Mansour Delane, you don't really have to be ready. Unless Nick Harbor's against you, they'll literally throw on anybody. So we'll see. All right, a couple other things here. That's really all I'm going to say about the defense. Guys, this point last year, we had given up 3 30-point games already. You've given up 0 now. So coming in here and saying that they're not improving, that they're not a good defense, I'm just not going to do it. I think you're going to get after their run game. I think Lenore Sellers should scare you, but this team's good, man, from a defensive perspective. And listen, and growing. I heard from a defensive perspective, I think if you talk to anyone in that building, they think that no one had a bigger 2 weeks than maybe Deshaun Spears. So, look, we'll see, man. We shall see. Let's move over to the offensive side of things because that's clearly where we're going to spend most of our time here. Number 1 in keys to victory for the offensive side of things, number 4 overall. What is your game plan versus Dylan Stewart? Guys, I haven't talked a lot about Dylan Stewart this week because it's been talked about ad nauseum. What do you want me to say? That Weston Davis has struggled? Yeah, he struggled. He's definitely struggled with speed rushes. Well, even if he didn't, even if Weston Davis had been solid, you're still going to have to massively game plan around Dylan Stewart. And Weston Davis, buddy, here's your chance. You've struggled. You've had a couple of weeks to kind of recoup. You didn't play against Ole Miss. So really, your energy and everything that you have should be recharged for arguably, let's not even say arguably, for the best end that you're going to see all year. The best player that Weston Davis is going to see all year, he faces on Saturday night in Dylan Stewart. Brian Kelly, in his press conference on Monday, did not hesitate to say, we're going to do some things and have some things ready for Dylan Stewart. Well, you better. Because, guys, from a pass rush standpoint, he is the best. He's not the best in run game situations, but 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, you better keep your eyes on number 6 because there's a high, strong possibility that he's coming to make a play. The amount of disruption that he's caused this season and the success that South Carolina has had defensively, damn near all of it revolves around number 6. So to ends this week, you're going to have to get a really good lick on Dylan Stewart over and over and over again. Running backs, you're going to have to get after him. And here's the God's honest truth. I know he doesn't want to do it, but the second key to victory from an offensive side of things, the 5th overall, Garrett better use his legs this week. Because I think there's a little bit of a falsehood about this South Carolina team. The falsehood is that they don't – look, are they as good of a defense as they were last year? No, they don't have Kyle Kennard. They don't have Tonka Hemingway. They don't have Nick Emenwari. Because they're not slouches. Outside of Florida – from a statistical analysis standpoint, this is the second best defense that you've played. Florida being the first. Because they're right there statistically with what Florida's done. Now, Florida's had a tougher schedule, and I'm with you there. I'm with you. Because I think a lot has been made. All this South Carolina defense isn't good. I don't know what y'all are seeing. Every media person for LSU who says that this South Carolina defense isn't that great clearly has not watched. Because when I look at South Carolina, I say to myself, well, let's see how many points they're giving up. Oh, that's right, the same amount as Ole Miss was. And Ole Miss clapped your cheeks. They did. So when you're top 30 in the country in scoring defense, when you're top 35 in the country in total defense, yeah, they're not bad because their safety room has been really good. Their edge room has been really good, mainly due to Dylan Stewart. Because you had 2 really good bookends last year, where this year, well, the question is, and a lot of you have said it yourself, you think that maybe you don't. But Lenore says, but Garrett Nussmeier is going to have to be on the move this week. If he sees a run lane for once in his life, he's got to take off. He's got to take off. You got to break this team's back that wants to get after you. You're not running the ball. And you got to find yardage in the run game from your quarterback. Blake, it's not his game. I know it's not. And no one is asking him to get 10 yards a pop here. No one's asking him to go prime Jaden Daniels. But when he starts getting rush lanes, because Dylan Stewart's is on the move and he's coming after you, if you see a rush lane on first and second down, hell, even on third down, if it serves it well, take it. Take it. This safety room should scare you too. But in reference to Dylan Stewart, to wrap this whole point up in a bow, guys, I'm just telling you, that kid's special. He's going to be a top 10 pick next year. Not like this upcoming next year's draft, but like not this year's draft, but next year's draft. He's going to be a top 10 pick. And unless something completely implodes, which crazier things have happened. But I don't think that he will. If he's not imploding now, he's not going, when he made millions of dollars, he's not going to now. The first announcement of NIL and TV rev share, by the way, was Dylan Stewart. Go look it up. South Carolina was all over it. Weston Davis has got to be big. This tight end room has got to be big. This running back room and pass pro has got to be big. You know you can't run the ball. So now pass protection becomes the biggest thing here. You're going to have to take some short shots. Garrett's going to have to know to take what's in front of him, which leads me to my next point. Garrett's got to move the football with his legs. And it's just the bottom line truth. He's got to get moving. Now, here's the thing, too. His coordinator's got to help him out with that. Move him right. Move him left. Let him do a bootleg. Play action. Let him do something to get his ass out of that pocket to where he makes only a couple of choices or only has a couple of decisions that he has to make, or he runs the football. First play of the game, go play action, take a deep shot. Next play, roll him out of the pocket. See what happens. But I promise you this, if you don't start getting moving, you're not going to – you might have some success this week because you did some creative things during a bye week. From a season, you won't. He's got to get moving. He's got to get moving. And I got to be real with you. I've seen excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And the bottom line truth is he's got to get moving. He's got to make better decisions, which is what we'll talk about now. The next thing, guys, is if you're able to slow down, you're not going to stop. But if you're able to slow down Dylan Stewart, the second best thing is that your quarterback has got to be a better decision maker than he has been. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off here and I've been waiting for 2 weeks to kind of rip the Band-Aid off. Here's the truth. I know we've hinted around this. We've talked about it, and I've said it to some extent. Garrett has got to simply start making better decisions. I don't want to hear it anymore. The turnovers are a problem. The throwing into triple coverage is a problem. Not taking stuff underneath is a problem that he has to correct right now. If anyone can't see that, you're blinded by your own takes. You're blinded. You can label me the hater all you want to, but the eye in the sky doesn't lie. You're not a good team on offense. You do not have a good offense. You can't run the ball. So, what does that mean? Are you probably going to get sacked more? Yes. Is your quarterback probably going to get hit more? Yes. Does that mean that he needs to get the ball out a little bit quicker than normal to kind of just methodically move the football down the field? Yes. This is not a difficult game, guys. As much as we try to X and O's and talk about this and that and this and that, guys, football is football. And there's rudimentary, I can't even say it. The rudimentary things that have always given teams success don't change. But when you take some of those easy things out, then the other parts have to be more vital. Like I think about stories. I had a good friend of mine in college who lost eyesight in one of his eyes. And he was telling me this has got to be about a year ago. Actually, no, it was during the Tennessee series when I went to the LSU Tennessee baseball game. I saw him. So great to see him. And we were talking, and he goes, dude, and we're just sitting there at a tailgate. And he's like, dude, ever since I lost my eyesight and my eye, I felt like my other senses have picked up. What do I bring that story up to say? When something so critical is taken away from you, other things overcompensate and have to overcompensate. You got to start making better decisions. Love me, hate me, I don't give a flying shit, but it is the truth. It is the truth. I don't care about the personnel. When I'm talking about this, I don't care what the personnel on the field is. The personnel on the field is the personnel on the field. Now, do I care about the personnel on the field? Yes. Do I think they need to get better with rotations? Yes. We'll talk about that next. But you got to start making better decisions. You can't have 15 interceptions and 10 SEC starts, guys. You just can't do it. At some point, the decision-making, hurt or not hurt, injured or not injured, has got to be better. If he is going to play, the excuse has been, let me back up. The excuse has been Blake, he's hurt. You are right. Everyone knows that. But if he's going to play, it doesn't stop that if you turn the ball over in critical situations, that's how you lose ball games. I know a whole nother issue that you've had is that you've only scored 13 points off of the turnovers that you've gotten. What? Guys, you almost have it not, I mean, it's not relatively close, but 13 points over 8 turnovers that you've gotten this season. Like, just as an example, let's just say that you averaged, and I don't think it's remotely hard, but let's just say that you averaged a field goal in all 8 of those turnovers that you got. The minimum amount of points that you should have is 24 off of those 8 turnovers. You have 13. Guys, you have 13. You're barely at 2 or 1.5 in points that you're getting and generating off of turnovers. It's not good enough. Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but if decision-making from the quarterback position does not get better, then you're going to be in for a rocky road. You can't throw the ball in the triple coverage. Sorry. I don't care if you're hurt or not hurt. You can't do it. He did it last year in this exact game. And before you say it was a blindside hit on Kennard, no, it wasn't. I will gladly DM me. I will gladly show you where and how it's not. Just because Garrett's head's turned doesn't mean that Kennard's not right in front of his face and hitting him, because he is. Even the hit and the blindside block on South Carolina last year doesn't stop that you threw the ball in the triple coverage. That has been a problem for you. If they're dropping 8, everybody in the building should know that, number one, they're dropping 8, but your quarterback has got to know by now, especially after 2 weeks ago, that stuff underneath, just by happenstance, has got to be open. You want them to stop dropping 8? Hit the shit underneath. It is as simple as that. And before you say Joe Sloan's not calling it, guys, that's bullshit. Can show you that too. Guys, your offensive line's not great, and you got to work around it. Your run game's not there. You got to work around it. But the one thing that you can't control the personnel right now along your offensive line. You can't change some of the things that are plaguing you as a team offensively. The only thing that you can control, the only thing that on Saturday night that you can control for a 100% certainty is your decision making. If someone physically beats you, that's fine. Can live with it. You give Lenore Sellers multiple opportunities here, he's going to beat you. You give him opportunities he shouldn't have, he's going to beat you. You make bad decisions and you got to punt the football away to probably the most dangerous return man in the SEC, maybe if the nation, you're in trouble. Like it, love it, hate it. Agree with it or don't agree with it. The bottom line is Garrett has got to start making better decisions. You cannot continue to defend some of the decision making. If you can't throw the ball 35 yards, know your limitations. Guys, I mean, he was doing this in the fourth quarter. At what point did you not know that today is just not my day? You want to get down to brass tacks? You want somebody to tell you the truth? Well, there's the truth. I see my nephews in here. Number one, Miami, Zaxby's and Dairy Queen, hashtag. Shout out to cousin Oliver. I call him my nephew, but he called me today, by the way, wearing a Bama jersey. First thing I told him when I answered the phone is he better take it off. He's going to be starting, he says he's starting his own podcast. Uncle Blake better watch out. He's starting the Ozone. Shout out to the Ozone. Regardless, and back to the main topic here. Guys, I've been doing this for a hot minute now. Okay? All I would tell you is this. If your quarterback continues to make bad decisions, it's not going to end well. And I will tell you, guys, if I was scared of the comment section, I wouldn't run out here and tell you that it's a problem when it clearly is. Because there's nothing in this world that I've taken more criticism over, which is fine, over that. But I acknowledge it. But it's the truth. And this whole offensive staff, for what it's worth, this whole offense should take offense to what everybody said about them. But you're not good. You're not good. Everybody coming out here saying, man, we got to find a run game. I mean, great take. Great take. Fantastic take. We got to block better. Great take by you. Fantastic take. But I see a comment already. Blake, we're not playing Ohio State. Dylan Stewart will knock your block off. And Cheetah, you were in here telling me I shouldn't be worried about Ole Miss and can pull the comments. And you were wrong, my guy. Y'all go ahead and play around if you want to. Y'all go ahead and play around if you want to. You make bad decisions, you're gonna be coming in here in the post game saying, "What in the hell just happened?" All right. Couple other things. Listen, you can't abandon the run game, even though it's god awful, right? It is god awful. You can't run the football. You got to try everything you can. I want to see LSU this weekend run a counter, a power, a jet sweep. I want to see them run a freaking draw with a running back. I want to see them run a draw with Garrett Nussmeier. Blake, we can't do that. He's hurt. Then he shouldn't be playing, guys. You got to do everything humanly possible to win. Everything. When's the last time that you've run a draw from a running back position? Guys, name it, because I can tell you it was this game last year. You gave a draw off to Caden Durham, and they were rushing Garrett, and he went off. Listen, guys, I have no idea what to tell you about a run game. I expect nothing. I expect nothing anymore. Watch him go out there and run for 175. Please, sweet Bayou Jesus, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, amen. Light a candle at church. Put a rosary over the run game for all I care. I have no faith that it's going to work, though. You can put the rosary on it. You can light the candle. You can go to the pew and beg and plead with God. But until we sit here and we actually see it, I'm not buying it. I'm over it. So you're going to have to do other things. Don't abandon it, because God forbid you do break one. You can't abandon the run game. But the bottom line truth is, I have zero faith that you can run for 100 yards this week. Zero. None. Nada. Well, if you can't run for 100 yards this week, well, we'll see. Caden Durham's going to have to do some special things. Somebody's going to have to find a way and do some special things. Get Harlan Berry the football and see what happens. I got an idea. Throw him a ball in the flat if you can't run it with a 190-pound running back between the tackles. I got a wild idea. Hey, you can block downfield if you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Throw him the football in the flat and see what happens. It's an extension of your run game. You mean to tell me that a linebacker that's going to be lined up right ahead of Harlan Berry can run faster to the sideline faster than him? That's what you're telling me. If your wide receivers can't make blocks, well, that's a whole different argument for a whole different day. But you got to do something. You're too predictable. Oh, and by the way, since we're on that, the personnel has got to change. Well, Blake, no. The rotation of the personnel has got to change. I think Cortez has done a horrible job. It is his responsibility. I know it's his responsibility. And if you don't know it's his responsibility, it is his responsibility. I asked Brian Kelly on Monday about the rotation. He said, yeah, it kind of reduced against Ole Miss. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Get your best guys out there and leave them out there and let them get in a rhythm. I don't know what to expect, guys. Don't abandon it. Pray to God we can find something, and if we do, great. But I'm not going to keep ramming my head in the wall and say, we got to find a way to run the football. Guys, after Brian Kelly's announcement today, I feel pretty confident that Cohen Eccles is going to start after what he said. We might rotate Carius Kern at left guard. Okay, well, thank you for confirming that Cohen Eccles is starting at left guard. So we'll see. I have zero faith in it. All right. Last but not least, last night we talked about attacking the far left boundary. Got to attack the far left boundary, guys. The far left boundary corner is not good. Throw Barryon Brown the football. Basically is what you should do. Throw to the boundary. Blake, he can't throw it 35 yards downfield. How do we know? Find a way. It's not my decision. If you can't move the football, if you can't throw the ball 30 yards, well, I don't get paid $10 million a year to make that level of a decision. So we'll see. But they have a massive problem at their far left boundary, and we'll see if we attack it. Last thing. I've been sent Braden Fajoko's YouTube thing. I have not watched it. Former LSU defensive tackle Braden Fajoko apparently has been a a guest on the show. I like Braden a lot. He's always been great to me. Great guy. I have not seen the video. Apparently, he talks about there being culture problems with LSU in the locker room. Maybe he knows something that I don't. But I'll say this, going into this game, you about to find exactly what your culture is. How do these guys respond? How does Garrett Nussmeier respond? How does Joe Sloan respond? Want to find out culture? You find it out this week. All right. Because every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over to FanDuel.com today or download the FanDuel mobile sports app. Parlays, bets, anywhere that you want to bet, you need to go over to our good friends over at FanDuel. If you have the discretionary income, let's go have some fun and play some bets. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, go over to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. All right. I got to get out of here. Before we get out of here, Brian Kelly did not answer about how Nuss was feeling physically. Let me back up. Brian Kelly did a press conference today, was asked about Garrett Nussmeier. Of course he was. Kind of shooed away the physical part of Garrett Nussmeier. How's he look? Well, his low, his workload's been higher, so I don't know. Cohen Eccles been taking majority of the reps at left guard. Carius Kern's been repping with him. I would expect Cohen Eccles to start, and if things get bad, here comes Carius Kern. But what if things get bad at right tackle? Like you're going up against Dylan Stewart this week. Things can really, really get crazy here. He talked about limited explosive plays from South Carolina. I completely agree with that. And the last thing Brian Kelly said was about Aaron Anderson, saying he's day-to-day, still running about 19, 20 miles an hour. Yeah, because the best thing that your offense needs right now is your number one receiver going down. Boy, wouldn't that be great? I think Aaron's going to give it a shot. I do. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Or no, we'll see you Saturday. Until then, y'all have a great night. Peace.